I really appreciate the movie because actually behind the love story, it addresses a lot of issues that this country is having right now, especially about immigrants and immigration laws. And it's very important, especially nowadays. What would you like the audience will take away, especially the younger viewers watching this movie?
Well, I think a lot of my peers and a lot of the kids that are growing up right now have had connection to social media, which means they're seeing all the time these stories of family separations, of families being denied access to opportunities. They are part of or know families that have very similar stories, and I know that's what attracted both of us to a film like this. And so I think it's not that they haven't heard these stories before, but I think it's really important to give everybody a new take or understanding that separates it from just the news headlines and makes it a personal matter.
Yeah, and to add to that, to, really find this hope in circumstances, beyond the circumstances, and to believe in something bigger than their current circumstance. It's a very aspirational love story, so beyond the face of everything, it's see that and experience that.
I totally agree with that. I also like that in some way the roles are switched because Natasha is the more, I don't want to say cynic, but maybe skeptical, pragmatic, and she's the science geek.
Yeah.
Daniel, on the other way, is more romantic and is an artist in some way. How do you work in order to play these switches, also in the male-female roles?
Well, I think what's funny is that we're already like our characters in so many ways, so it didn't feel like, oh, I was switching into a role that I usually don't have as a young woman, because I felt like I related to Natasha in so many ways. And I think, if anything, I really appreciated both Nicola's dedication to really having a young brown female character talking about wanting to be a data scientist and talking about having these large aspirations, because I know so many of my peers were just like that.
Amplifying a version of, a trait that I have with Daniel is the romanticism and the hopelessness. So that kind of, embellishing that into a character, certain things changed my way of thinking and writing. The music that I listened to all helped influence when it came to filming the project, with the way of life and everything. So that definitely helped with playing this hopeless romantic who has no fear in loving.
And if, just like your characters, you had one last day or just one day to spend in New York, what would you do and how would you spend it?
I would spend it with family. I'd hit up all the museums. So I'd go to the Brooklyn Museum, I'd go to the Schomburg Center, I would go, where else would I go? I'd go to Sadel's, pick up some morning buns because they're delicious, and then find a concert to go to.
I live in New York, I'm gonna follow your advice about the
Please, we should do it together.
Well, I would, family, loved ones, go to every pizza spot in New York.
Okay, that's a lot. You have a lot of places.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of pizza.
You have a jam-packed day.
But it takes you all around New York, and
I couldn't do that. A lot of carbs, I wouldn't do a lot.